Scott, when did you learn about the Big Ten's decision on Khalil? Was it just yesterday?
I think it was yesterday morning. I can't remember now if it was yesterday morning or Tuesday evening, but we were made aware that it was probably going to happen, and then we found out for sure yesterday.
Do you have a say in that? Or, like, do you rebut it or anything, or do they just give you a decision?
No, if we'd have known something was going on during the game, we would have handled during the game. We had no idea. We don't condone what he did on the field, so I support and agree with the decision. He's going to have some internal punishment as well as the Big Ten suspension. The only thing I would say, and not a rebuttal, but I just want to make sure if that kind of thing happens in any game that it's handled the same way, and I'm sure it will be.
Was there any mention from officials during the game that there was an issue, or did you first learn of anything at all from the Big Ten?
Yeah, the referees told me there was a little extracurricular going on with him. Now, that was going on both ways, but there's a difference between a little shoving after a play and what happened. So, like I said, we knew they alluded to that something was going on, but we had no idea until we saw the film what had happened.
Does that give a couple of your guys who maybe haven't been in that defensive line rotation a chance to fill that spot this week then?
Yeah, we'll see. I know Ben Stilley is ready to be the starter at that position, and he's capable and worked hard and ready. Beyond that, I think Tony and Coach Tins and I are going to have to talk. DeAndre Thomas has been doing good things for us, and I'm sure he'll take some of the reps, and we'll see beyond that.
Or 2 or 3 things you really think are important going into this game against a team that doesn't easily beat itself?
Yeah, that's the thing you always respect about Northwestern. They play hard, they're physical, and they don't make mistakes. Looking at how this season's played out, I think this is probably as important a game as there is all year for them. I just got done telling the guys I think it's the same for us. I know they're going to come in ready to play with where their season is. We have to be ready to play where our season is. I expect it to be a physical game. I really think the key to the whole game is going to be turnovers. If you look back at last year's game and everything that happened, if we just hadn't given them a strip sack fumble on defense, we most likely would have won the game. That was the difference in the game. These guys don't beat themselves very often. We have to make sure we do the same. They have a really good defense, so we just have to make sure that even if we're not scoring, we're trying to win the field position battle, and a big part of that is not turning the ball over.
You said on Saturday that you hadn't been around very many turnover-prone teams in your career. What are the hallmarks of a team that does a good job of taking care of the ball, or what leads to that?
If you take care of the ball in practice, you take care of the ball in the game. Last week they had some special players, and a couple of the turnovers were just created by really good plays by a couple guys. I didn't think we were careless with the ball. One sailed throw maybe was careless. Other than that, we weren't careless with the ball. They just made a play and had one land on them. But it's happened too often to say that it's just coincidence. So we need to be as dialed in to protecting the football as we possibly can on Saturday.
How'd your offense do this week in practice?
The guys responded really well. They had fun with each other this week. I think we improved in practice all week. Really good Thursday today, so I think the guys are as familiar with the game plan and as ready to execute it as we've been. We still have to go do it on Saturday, and we have to keep from making mistakes.
On the flip side of that, Northwestern gave up a couple of defensive touchdowns to Wisconsin. With what you guys have shown in being able to force turnovers, and especially with the defensive touchdowns in the first game, how much of an opportunity can that be for the defense?
We need to win the turnover battle, and that's a two-way street. That's the offense taking care of the ball. That's the defense creating some. I think that was a little uncharacteristic of a Northwestern team to give up those scores on offense. Anytime you're playing with a young quarterback, those things can happen. I know that the kid they're playing is really talented. I have no doubt he's going to have a spectacular career there. I've been a first-year quarterback, and you have to learn from some mistakes, and I think that's probably what happened. But he's a really good player. We have to be ready to play against whichever quarterback's playing, but that's not typical of a Northwestern team, and I don't think we can expect it.
Sean Beckton said that Chris Hickman was going to play some special teams for you. Just given where he came in physically and sort of where he was at, how much work has he done to get to this point where he can play for you?
We're really excited about Chris Hickman and his potential here. He can run. He's a tough kid. This four-game rule is going to help with a lot of these guys to be able to get on the field and get their feet wet. We need some of those guys to help us, particularly on special teams, take reps away from other guys. So we're going to kind of rotate that and give different guys opportunities, and Chris might be one of the ones this week.
I know the games haven't made it easy to maybe get a guy like Ramir Johnson in, but where's he at in his development? Is he a guy that's close maybe?
Keep saying Ramir's ready. I think he's been close coming up to this game. I think he's ready now. He's done a good job continuing to work. His speed is a difference for us. It could be a difference maker. So we just had to make sure he was ready to execute every play, knew the offense well enough not to make mistakes, and his time's coming very shortly.
Is Ronald, is he out for the year?
Yeah, Ronald had to have another minor knee surgery to clean something up, so we're not expecting him back till spring.
Anything else? Great. Thanks.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.